We've reported over the past few months the former president not only facing charges in Georgia, he is indicted state case in New York and two federal cases, one in Florida and another one in Washington, D.C. In March of 2023, Trump became the first former U.S. president in history to face criminal charges. He was indicted in New York on state charges tied to hush money payments made during the 2016 presidential campaign. The payments were allegedly efforts to bury allegations of sexual encounters with adult film actor Stormy Daniels. He pleaded not guilty to 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. Each count is punishable by up to 4 years in prison. Trump is next set to appear in state court on December 4th for this case. Well, in June, former President Trump was charged in a federal case related to the mishandling of classified documents, including sensitive documents on nuclear capabilities. The 40 felony counts against him include charges of retaining classified information at his Mar-a-Lago estate, obstructing justice, and making false statements. The indictment alleges that Trump repeatedly enlisted aides and lawyers to help him hide records demanded by investigators and showed off a Pentagon plan of attack and classified map. The top charges carry a penalty of up to 20 years in prison. The judge set the trial to begin in May of 2024. And the most recent Trump indictment came on August 1st over his efforts to overturn his defeat in the 2020 election. The special counsel for the U.S. Department of Justice handed down the indictment on 4 federal counts. It claims Trump lied to Georgia's Secretary of State in an effort to convince him to alter Georgia's popular vote. The indictment mentions Trump's repeated claims that 10,000 dead people voted in Georgia and his claims that the vote count in Fulton County was full of fraud. The indictment also alleges that this led to the riot at the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021, as Congress met to certify the results of the election. Well, 18 other Trump allies were charged along with Mr. Trump in Fulton County last night. Let's take a look at some of the others you may remember from the aftermath of the 2020 election. Among those allies, former New York Rudy Giuliani. He was the mayor there. He is charged with 13 counts. In 2018, he became Trump's personal attorney and then a key lawyer for the campaign after the 2020 election. Giuliani is accused of fueling the flames of rumors that there was an election fraud in Georgia. He also testified before Georgia Senate panel in December of 2020 that has become a central part of both the local and federal investigations. Giuliani met with the Fulton County grand jury in August of 2022. Now, John Eastman, he was an attorney for President Trump and believed to be responsible for trying to execute the fake electoral scheme. He is charged with 9 counts in this indictment. At a Georgia Senate hearing on December 3rd, 2020, Eastman told lawmakers that they had the authority and duty to replace the state's slate of Democratic electors, citing widespread voter fraud. Georgia election officials repeatedly debunked those claims. Eastman sent at least 2 memos to the Trump campaign and others detailing a plan where then Vice President Mike Pence could refuse to count some of Biden's electoral college votes. Former Trump Chief of Staff Mark Meadows was also on the line for the infamous Raffensperger phone call and stuck alongside the president in the aftermath of the 2020 election. Meadows is charged with violation of the Georgia RICO Act and solicitation of violation of oath by a public official. Prosecutors say there were emails, meetings, and even a surprise visit to Georgia made all for the benefit of his boss. Before joining then President Trump in the White House, Meadows was a congressman from North Carolina. David SHAFER is the former head of the Georgia Republican Party and former state senator. He is charged with 8 counts in this indictment. Prosecutors say SHAFER was a part of the alternate electoral scheme following the election in which Republicans submitted illegitimate electoral college votes in favor of former President Donald Trump. Sidney Powell is charged with 7 counts, including the RICO charge, conspiracy to commit election fraud, and conspiracy to defraud the state. She joined the Trump legal team formed to challenge the 2020 election results on Trump's behalf. Court documents from the Fulton County DA's office says that Powell and others hosted a meeting to influence the results of the November 2020 elections in Georgia and elsewhere. Documents revealing Powell was also involved in the alleged election data breach in Coffee County. Powell also allegedly coordinated with Atlanta-based forensic data firm Sullivan Strickler to copy the ballot information. MISTY Hampton served as Coffee County election director and is accused of allowing people tied to Trump to copy election data there the day after the attack on the Capitol. That data was later posted on a file sharing website. She resigned as election director in March of 2021 over falsifying timesheets. After that, Hampton briefly worked for the Fulton County Board of Elections and so pretend to run a single election. Investigators with the Secretary of State's office and GPI seized voting machines in both counties to determine if they were possibly compromised with security.